What's up, guys? I just finished watching episode 47 of Dragon Ball Super, and before I mention anything else, I will say if you do not want to be spoiled, do not click on this video. I will put it in the description below, and that'll be as my title, Dragon Ball Super episode 47. Spoiler, or do not watch if you do not want to be spoiled. Hey, ignore the phone call. Sorry. Um, this episode didn't waste any time. This episode has me in a loss of words because, it was hinted that one person was gonna die in this episode. That's not what we got. Two people died in this episode. This episode had more doom and gloom than it did as a lighthearted episode, and that's what this arc was going to start with, more doom and gloom than anything. This episode did have a little bit of lightheartedness, but there was more focusing on the future than it was in the past, and that's what this arc is mainly going to be until Trunks shows up in the past. But the episode starts off with Trunks running, as we saw last week. We saw him running and running and running while buildings were being destroyed, and the so-called villain is just blowing up all buildings and anything that's in its way. I will say that the music and the animation in this episode is flawless. So far, the best animation and the best music of Dragon Ball Super so far, and my hopes were up for this episode and they exceeded my expectations. The music was flawless, the animation was flawless, just the way they handled this episode was amazing. And I will give this episode a 10.5 out of 10. That episode was amazing. This episode had me on my seat. And I'll tell you right now, there were two moments of this episode that had me shocked. And I'm in a loss of words, like I said a little while ago. But let me finish going on to the review first. But after the scene of Trunks running, we also see future Bulma working in the lab. And what I didn't notice last week was that the whatever was future Bulma was working on was the same project that present Bulma was working on. So I find that was really that was pretty cool. That noticing both Bulmas, different timelines, but still working on the same project. Trunks and Bulma are talking. I'm pretty sure that Bulma is explaining to Trunks what she's working on, and I will link in the description below Geekdom's channel, because Geekdom has a better understanding what's going on. Herms98 did translate the episode, so whoever watches it raw can understand what's going on. But being that Geekdom as myself are both Latino, we do also watch the Spanish dub or subbed version, so we watch it twice, or I watch it twice. I watch it with the Spanish subs and subtitles, and I watch it raw. I'm not too sure about Geekdom, but I will put a link to Geekdom's channel in the description below, so you guys can go to his review, because his review is a little bit more concrete and precise, better than mine. But back to the review. After while Bulma and Trunks are talking in the lab, the villain finds them and blows up one part of the lab so he can come into the lab. And Trunks tries to save Bulma by grabbing her and making sure that she doesn't get hit and nothing from any debris. But then Bulma notices what's gonna happen next, so she gives Trunks the vial of fuel for his um, time capsule, and she tells him to run. And the villain not only destroys. This is where I got emotional a little bit, and I don't know if you're gonna hear it in my voice or not. But not only did the villain blow up the lab, he also killed Bulma. And Bulma is my number one favorite character of Dragon Ball. In both in Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, and Dragon Ball Super. So I got really emotional when I saw that. And then it cuts off to the present time with Piccolo and Goku collecting vegetables. They're collecting carrots, and they're collecting cabbage or lettuce or whatever it is. And then we see Krillin fly to Chi Chi and Goten, which are there as well. And Krillin mentions that Vegeta is on Beerus's planet training with Whis, and Goku overhears that, and then they cut to the scene where Vegeta is training with Whis, and he goes Super Saiyan Blue. So while Vegeta is going to throw a punch, Goku teleports and winds up getting headbutted by Vegeta. And while Vegeta's training with Whis on Beerus's planet, he's not in his Resurrection of F clothes. He's in his basic gear. He's in his old training clothes. And then after that scene, Trunks is still running, and then he goes into an abandoned building, and he knocks on the door. I don't know if he was looking for somebody or if it was Mai, but we finally see Mai. Mai shows up and no and finds Trunks, and she sees Trunks and notices the vial of fuel that he's holding, and she looks at it for a few seconds, and then she her eyes widen like she understands what went on. And then Trunks starts crying, explaining what happened. And then exactly. Trunks explains that Bulma is now dead and has to warn and get help by going into the past. And then after the commercial cuts, it goes to Beerus's planet, and then Whis, Beerus, Goku, and Vegeta are just being themselves and just stuffing their faces with food. And then after that scene, it goes back to the future, and no pun intended. And Trunks and Mai are in an old building, and my guess is, again, you guys can go to Geekdom's channel because he has a better understanding of what's going on. That Mai and Trunks are discussing their next move, and shortly after that, it cuts back to the Cell Saga. There's a quick flashback of Vegeta doing Final Flash, Vegeta fighting Second Form Cell, Goku on King Kai's planet before Cell blew up, and I guess that what he's was explaining, that he was gonna go in the past and warn Goku, Vegeta, and the others what's going on. They move out, and they're running and running, and the city's just looking all sorts of destroyed. Buildings, there's rubble. The buildings are blowing up. There's no life in sight other than the cat that was with them in the apartment building that they were in. But other than that, there's like barely no living things anywhere, and it looks very doom and gloom. It looks very grim. Then shortly after that, the villain finds Trunks and Mai again, and then Trunks pulls out his sword because he's pissed off at the villain for killing his mom. And honestly, I don't have one. I don't have a mom, but I do have a stepmom, and I'd be pretty fucking pissed off if something happened to my stepmom. I really would. And then Trunks pulls out his sword and fights the villain. He goes and he does, I guess, a key blast with his sword towards the villain, but the villain is going and doing the scattered key shot that Vegeta likes to do, and after getting knocked on his butt, Mai tells him, gives him the vial of few, tells him go, while she goes to fight off the villain, and I believe she gets like 2 or 3 good shotgun blasts, and it really isn't gonna do anything. The villain just really won't do nothing. Other like the bullets won't do nothing, and not only that, the villain goes and shoots a key blast at Mai, and that key blast kills Mai as well. So not only one but 2 women that were in Trunks' life are now dead. So he definitely doesn't have anybody, and it's a little emotional because not only did he lose his best friend, he lost his mom, and maybe Mai is his girlfriend, or maybe Mai just stuck around him to survive or something. They're both refugees, but it's very emotional to see that both women in Trunks' life are now gone, and that's something that in real life is really hard to deal with, and I can feel for Trunks, and I'm pretty sure that you can hear in my voice that I'm getting a little emotional again, and this is the power of anime. They bring you closer, and they show you things that most people don't go through. And people like to say, "Oh, it's just a cartoon. Oh, it's just anime." Not really. They put so much more into these animes, into these episodes, into these mangas. The music plays, and that sets the mood of what's happening as well. So it's not just a cartoon. It's not just an anime. It's so much more than that. And I've said multiple times, excuse me, I've said multiple times that Dragon Ball is something that I've surrounded myself around for many, many years. Dragon Ball has started in the 80s, and I was born in the 90s. And I will tell, I'm not afraid to say how old I am. I'm 24. It's these type of episodes that get to me, and I'm not afraid to say, yeah, I'm human. But there's sometimes where, just like in movies, just like in TV shows or whatever, there's certain things that get to you, and this episode really got to me. Then let me go back to the review. I'm sorry. Then shortly, like right after Trunks runs to Mai and looks at her, is like, "Oh, please wake up, please wake up," and she doesn't wake up. Then the dust settles, and it's Goku Black. I'm just gonna say Goku Black because I don't want to say Goku Black or Black Goku, but it's Goku Black, and I noticed that he only has one earring. He doesn't have two. He has one green earring on his left ear, which I think it's weird because you've seen the Kaioshins from Universe 6 and Universe 7 both have their earrings on them, both ears, both left and right. And then you see Demigra in Dragon Ball Xenoverse with both his earrings on. You see the Supreme Kai of Time in Xenoverse as well with both earrings on. And then you see Vegito when he was fighting against Super Buu Gohan Absorbed, and he had both earrings on. So it begs the question, if Goku Black shows up in the past, is he looking for, or is he looking to fuse with somebody to make him more powerful, or is that just how Toriyama decided to draw his design? And then right after that, cuts to the credits. And then for next week, episode 48, we see Trunks in his time capsule with the top open, and Bulma's looking up at him, and then Goku and Vegeta are there. Well, because I'm guessing that Goku or Vegeta sensed his presence, and Trunks looks passed out. He had the top is open, his arm is over the control panel, and he looks passed out. And then Trunks is explaining to Bulma what happened in the future and what his reasoning for being in the past. And then future Trunks is laying on a bed, similar to a hospital bed, but he's surrounded by Bulma's sitting next to him, but Goku and Vegeta are standing up on the other side of the room. And then present Trunks is on his right, looking at him, and present Trunks is freaked out. He's looking at him and is like, this guy looks like me. Who is this guy? And we won't know till next week. Like I said, I gave this episode a 10.5 out of 5. The music, the plot, the animation, everything what we were waiting for was finally delivered tonight. And like I also said before, my expectations were pretty damn high for this episode, or this arc, and so far this episode has exceeded my expectation. And now, like I also said, this episode was very emotional. I may be the only one that thinks that way, or maybe other female fans who liked Bulma. I definitely know the female fans who like future Trunks are gonna cry when they see future Trunks cry after Bulma was killed off by Goku Black. But I'm gonna post this on YouTube right now. I'm not gonna wait. This is something that everybody's been waiting for, so I'm gonna put my thoughts out on the episode. If you guys do watch this episode, please comment down below what you thought of the episode. If you saw it raw, if you didn't, and you're just being hard-headed and still watching this review when you want to wait for the subbed version that comes out in 10 hours, I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything about that. But to those who watched it raw or even with the Spanish subtitles, please tell me what you guys thought of the episode. These are my thoughts on the episode all around. Maybe a little longer than it was last week, but I don't care. The episode came out, it delivered, it was pretty fucking awesome. And yeah, that's it. So I will watch the episode again with the English subtitles tomorrow, and I will make that review tomorrow, and I will post it on Monday. But I want to say goodnight, and thank you for watching.